Imagine mapping out the exact nutrients that a person needs to be healthy, the exact amount of fats and proteins and minerals and so on, and then looking for the easiest, zero-hassle way to consume that. That is the business that Huel is in, and the results look like this. Or this. Or this. Doesn't look especially tasty, does it? It doesn't really aim to be. The mantra is nutrition first, taste second. And I kind of like how weirdly honest that sounds, a bit like Facebook saying profits first, privacy second. And you can tell that they really maxed out the healthiness by including 26 vitamins. I'm assuming that's vitamin A all the way up to Z. If they want to add any more, they'll have to invent extra letters. Huel started out with a kind of powder that mixes with water, and they have diversified into a couple of different products like ready-made drinks, bars, and a hot meal replacement that even manages to look a lot like actual food. They also used to have a kind of granola, but that taste turned out to be too acquiring, even for the average hooligan. They don't seem to target specific demographics, but I think it's safe to say that Huel appeals most to the same people who often resort to fast food, people like bachelors, gamers, students, long-haul drivers, and so on. Or actually, a subset of those people, the ones who aspire to something a little more healthy, but don't like the hassle. Let's call them the lazy but principled demographic. Also part of this very special group of people, some vegans, because Huel is vegan, and depending on what you compare it with, also a reasonably eco-friendly option. Personally, I feel that anyone brave enough to try and get through life without bacon, eggs, cheese, or chocolate deserves a couple of lazy days now and then. So welcome to the club, guys. Now you might wonder where backpackers come in, this being a hiking channel and all. Well, it turns out that Huel has a couple of benefits that appeal especially to hikers. It is lightweight, which is a must obviously, and also is inexpensive compared to traditional hiking food brands. The basic Huel powder costs 45 cents per 100 calories. That means that an average lunch or dinner would cost you a bit less than 3 euros, or about 9 euros a day if you were to eat nothing else. Huel bars are 29% more expensive, and Huel Hot and Savory is 78% more expensive. Now how does that compare to real-world food? At my local supermarket, 45 cents per 100 calories buys you spaghetti and pasta sauce. And if that's too much work, 87 cents per 100 calories gets you a frozen pizza. So price-wise, it's not so different than other fast, convenient options. Mind you, these comparisons are based on European prices, but Huel costs more here than it does elsewhere. Huel is originally British, so perhaps the pricing is just good old-fashioned chauvinism. Or maybe British food is so amazing that Huel has a hard time competing there. Yeah, let's stick with that theory. Americans also pay a bit more, though not nearly as much as we do, but they are being conned in a different way. They are gonna be so pissed when they find out that there are only 26 letters. I hope the guys at Huel know what they're doing. I don't really feel qualified to review the nutritional value of any of these products, but on paper, I'm inclined to assume that Huel is probably healthier. Obviously, there is a lot more to nutrition than these stats, and there is a lot of information and discussion out there. But if you do start Googling, be careful where you end up. It is a very deep rabbit hole. You start browsing a forum for a hummus recipe, and 7 hours later, they've turned you into a gluten-free keto vegan who only eats raw food. Before we get to the taste, I have to mention my least favorite thing about Huel, and that is people's reactions to it. There's all kinds of powdered food in the world, and if there was something inherently wrong with it, I doubt we would be feeding it to babies. But whenever Huel posts a Facebook ad, and for such a small company they do spend a ton on Facebook advertising, you get reactions like this. Now I get that food is an emotional subject for a lot of people, but I would love for folks to dial down the judgment a little on this one. I mean, it's not as though they're putting pineapple on pizza, am I right? The taste, that's the big one, isn't it? Since my taste buds are biased from having been exposed to Huel a couple of times a week over the past few years, we organized a highly scientific test scenario. A couple of beers, fire pit, free Huel samples. If that's not science, then I don't want to be a scientist. In the first test, our subjects were fed vanilla Huel powder. They all survived, but they did not all enjoy the process.
I could live one day on it, but I don't think I'm gonna live 2 or 3 days on it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
The powder comes in a number of flavors, which, compared to some Huel competitors, are all pretty subdued. The idea is that because they aren't as pronounced or as sugary, you won't get tired of them as easy. I usually opt for vanilla because it mixes well with things like fruit, but also coffee.
That's okay.
It's not super bad, but it stays within the mouth. You have all kinds of fibers stuck between your teeth, and I don't like it.
The second test was with a strawberry white chocolate Huel bar. Now I should start by saying I kinda messed up the test. Huel bars are notorious for being hard and chalky when cold. They even advise you to microwave them for 15 seconds before consumption. Well, if you're out hiking and you forgot your microwave, you can also just carry them close to your body for a while. But of course, I forgot to do any of these things.
Raspberry and white chocolate. Oh my God. Same structure as 3 years ago. Tastes a lot better, but ik heb mijn amandelen nog, hè. En ik verzeker u, dat zit zo rond mijn amandelen nu. Goed, hè. Maar... Oh, maar drinken hebben.
The bars come in lots of flavors. There seems to be something for everyone. But when people don't like them, it's usually more about the texture and the mouthfeel than about the actual flavor. I personally don't eat them that often, but I like leaving a couple scattered around in my bags, in the car, coat pockets, and so on, just for convenience. The problem is they have a fairly short shelf life, and you can buy them in small quantities. So I often have to cross out the due date for peace of mind. For the last test, we exposed our subjects to a hot and savory Thai curry.
So it looks like a Royco Huel soup. It smells like something I ate in Thailand a few years ago. I'm gonna be honest, I don't enjoy this. Not my thing. Really, nope. It has just one taste, and it tastes like lemongrass. It's also hard. If I have to eat this during a 4 or 5 day hike, I'm gonna get depressed.
The best thing I can say about the hot and savory is that they have real flavor to them, and they give you something to chew on. There's quinoa and lentils in there, as well as a lot of the ingredients that it shares with the other Huel products. Whether or not you'll like the Thai version depends on whether you like spicy food and lemongrass. As Steve demonstrated, it's not for everyone. But out of all the Huel products I've tasted so far, I would say that this is the one that I am most confident recommending to people with taste buds.
Spicy. Vind echt wel lekker. I really like the bean structure. It's really nice. Maybe I would buy this for a hike, because they've put some effort in making it tasty. You need to try it with a little bit more salt. Pepper is not necessary, but this is good.
I'd say in my experience that most people are not really open to the idea of something like Huel, and that's okay. But if you've watched this all the way to the end, then there's a fair chance that you're not most people. So if you do decide to give it a try, or if you have any questions whatsoever, let us know in the comments.
I'm sorry, Huel, that I blocked you for the advert you gave me on Facebook. I even reported you because your bars were so bad. But this is good.